Guys, Slangcast, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 2. Just want to give you some thoughts on this phone, this incredible piece of technology. Now, I do have a full unboxing and review video, a couple videos over on Digital Slang. You can go check that out. But tonight, we're just going to chill a little bit. Just going to talk, not a lot of B-roll. Just want to give you some thoughts on the Z Fold 2. First off, look, first impressions. The night that I did get this phone, the night I did the unboxing, super excited. So of course, first impressions are always going to be really good when you are that excited over a piece of technology, something that you've never used before. I've never used the original Fold. I've never tried the Galaxy Z Flip. So I've never used a folding phone, at least not a new iteration of a folding phone. I've had flip phones back in the day, but that doesn't count. The Z Fold 2. So after the unboxing, I dropped another video about 24 hours later. After I calmed down a little bit, after the initial excitement was over, I wanted to give you a little more calmer thought on the phone. So this is basically the same thing, just a week later. The phone is incredible. Again, this inside display, the 7.6-inch OLED, 120 hertz, scrolling through social media, watching Netflix or YouTube on there is just a joy. And I enjoy it more so on this than I do on my iPad Pro, than on my iMac. I just upgraded my iMac. I have the new iMac. For whatever reason, I enjoy it more on this phone, I guess because it fits more easily in the palm of my hands, right? It's kind of the perfect size. And I'll get to the size in a little bit, but as far as watching content on the inner display, it's just a joy. Overall, it's unbelievable. It's hard to put the phone down, to be honest with you. So again, 7.6-inch display on the inner display, and it's fantastic. Now, the outer display, this guy right here, much better than the original Fold, no doubt about it. The original Fold was very difficult to use. This is better, I should say, by far. It is the entire front display, 60 hertz, right? The resolution on here, it's decent. It's not, it's a little better than 720p, but it still looks good for what it is because it's so small. You're not going to really have a problem with the resolution on here, and it looks good on here on the front. The aspect ratio on the front display is a little weird because it's such a thin display as far as width-wise. So it's something you do have to get used to. Now, scrolling through apps on the front display are fine. No problems there. Everything opens up. It runs like a regular phone would run. And I can even use the front display. It's very tall, right? It's almost about as tall as the Note phone, the Note 20. So it's still tall, but the width of the phone definitely makes it easier to use with one hand, and I enjoy that. Now, my one downside with the front display is trying to type, right? If you just like want to open it up, turn your phone on, and reply to, say, a text message, the front keyboard is a little difficult to get used to. If you got big fingers, chunky fingers, I don't think I have big fingers, probably somewhere in the middle, but it is even difficult for me to type on the front keyboard. But look, honestly, if you're buying this phone, you have to expect that, right? You have to know that going in. You're not buying this phone to really use the front display. Let's be real here. You're buying it to open it up and use that incredible inner display. And Samsung knows that. That's why the inner display is 120 hertz and the outer display is 60 hertz. Big difference here, but much improved from the first iteration of the Fold. Pictures on here, take fantastic pictures. Check out my other videos. I've got some examples of the pictures. Plenty of pictures on Twitter, on social media. Plenty of pictures of tech YouTubers taking pics on here, and the cameras on here look incredible. This thing does have 5 lenses on it. So you got the 3 lenses here on the back, all of them 12 megapixels, or your regular shooter, an ultra wide, and a telephoto. And then you have a front-facing camera here, 10 megapixel. And then when you shut it on this screen here, you have another 10 megapixel front-facing camera. And honestly, I'm not very impressed with the front-facing cameras, but shooting pics with the 3 lenses on the back, they look fantastic. They look really good. No problems there. Shooting video on here is perfectly fine. 4K video looks really crisp, looks really good. Now, one of the things that I'm really surprised about is you cannot find a case for this thing anywhere. It's amazing to me that companies weren't ready for this. I don't know what is going on with the case manufacturers for this phone. Even on Samsung's own website, you can't just go on and order a case. I tried to do that, and it's not shipping for like 3 weeks. Like, that's insane to me. I spent $2,000 on a phone. They should, if they knew they weren't going to be case ready, they should have given us at least a silicone case in the box. We spent $2,000 on this phone. Give us a way to protect it. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. It's crazy that they didn't give us a case with this phone, knowing that no cases were available at the time of launch, which is crazy. I ended up ordering a case from AliExpress that won't be here for a couple weeks, but at the same time, it's going to be here sooner than any case I would have ordered on Amazon or anywhere, on Samsung, anywhere. So I'm waiting for a case from AliExpress. We'll see how good it is. Carbon fiber. I'm hoping it gets here sooner rather than later. Now, you do have to be careful with this phone. No IP rating on here. Do not bring it around water. Do not go walking in the rain with it. Do not take it to a beach. It's not dust resistant. If you get sand in it with this hinge or anything in this hinge, it's going to be an issue. So you do have to be careful with it. And even more so, that they don't give us a case. So you do have to be just very careful with this phone, especially now until the cases are launched. USB Type-C, Wi-Fi 6, so it's future-proof. Overall, it's just a great phone, honestly. The technology and the innovation here, the risks that Samsung has taken over the last 2 generations of this phone to get to this place is very impressive. And I commend them for that, because what they have given us here with the Fold 2 is just a great piece of tech. And I got to be honest with you, every time you do this, it is one of the most satisfying things that you can do with a phone. It really is. It's just amazing. So what would I like on the next iteration, like the Z Fold 3? If you can give me a Z Fold 3 with S Pen support, because it does need S Pen support, and there are rumors the next gen will have S Pen support, but that inner display, the size of that screen, you have to have it. You just do. The Notes have it, and there are rumors now that they're doing away with the Note series, going to bring S Pen support to this, and the Galaxy S line will be just your normal Galaxy line, and your premium phones from Samsung will now be these folding phones. So we'll see if that's true. We'll see how that goes in the future. So give me S Pen support. Give me a wider display on this front. I want this front display to look and work like the Note. A flat panel, a flat OLED on the front. I want it to be the same width and the same height as the Note 20 Ultra. And when it opens, I want it to be basically 2 Note 20 Ultras. Now, I want it to be as thin as the Microsoft Duo. Could you imagine the Z Fold 3 folded as thin as the Duo, with screens like the Note 20 Ultra, with S Pen support, with a matte finish on it? Man, take my money right now. I would buy that phone tomorrow. That's what I want from the next Z Fold 3. But the Z Fold 2, if you have the money, it's absolutely worth the price. Now, I think the sweet spot is more along the lines of $1,500. I think this phone would do a hell of a lot better at $1,500. Well, of course it would do better at $1,500, Jeff. Yeah, it's $500 cheaper. But that, I think, is the sweet spot. I think hopefully the Gen 3, as we advance in technology and things get a little cheaper, hopefully the next model will be a little cheaper, so that more and more people can get their hands on this phone, because right now it is a niche item, niche, whatever the word is. It is a niche item. Not a lot of people are going to use it. And I love the phone. I think it's fantastic. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be using it every day as my daily driver. It is bulky. It does get a little heavy. The front screen, it's decent, right? It's better than the original Fold. When you open this guy up, it's amazing. It's one of the funnest products I've ever used, to be honest with you. That inner display is just so much fun to use, so much fun to watch content on. With the 120 hertz, scroll through anything on there, and it's buttery smooth. And every time you fold it, you get that satisfaction of just cool tech, right? Because that's what it is. It's a cool piece of tech. But every now and then I go back and I pick up my Note 20 Ultra. And it's funny because after using the Z Fold 2 for so long, you realize how thin the other phones are, right? Because before I bought the Note 20 Ultra felt like a giant piece of glass to me. Now when I go back and use it, it feels so thin and tiny. I picked up the Pixel 4a today. That thing gets lost in my hands. It's so thin and small compared to this thing. So kind of puts everything else in perspective when you use a piece of tech like this. The innovation on here is incredible. The actual use, it doesn't feel like it's going to break. It feels very premium. It feels like it's worth $2,000. So they did a really good job here with the Z Fold 2. I do recommend it if you can afford it. I do recommend it. It's a great piece of tech. Now, battery life on here, it's only a 4,500 milliamp battery on here, and it's decent, right? The battery life, I've been able to get 5.5 hours of screen on time using this phone. I've had to charge it pretty much every day I've used it. I've had to charge it at some point during the day, and that's not surprising. Again, most of the time you're using this phone, Quad HD display with 120 hertz on a giant 7.6 inch panel. So it's going to burn through battery life if that's the display you're using most. If you stay on the outside and you stay on that front display, you're going to get more battery from your phone. You're going to get more use out of your phone. But again, we buy these to use that inner crazy looking, amazing display. So battery life on here, I'd like to see a little bigger battery in the next Fold 3. So we talked about display, we talked about battery life. One of the things that I love about this phone are the stereo speakers. Speaker on the top, speaker on the bottom. Sounds amazing. Again, this is one of the things that adds to the experience when you listen to content. When you're watching YouTube videos or Netflix or whatever it is, it's loud, very loud. I have to turn it down because it's that loud and it sounds really good. So battery life, we talked about the speakers, the displays on the outside display. It's good enough. The display on the inside is amazing. Cameras on here, 5 cameras, 3 on the back and 2 front-facing cameras, 10 megapixels each, and the 3 on the back are 12 megapixels. You're going to get deals as Christmas comes around. Price will go down. We'll get some better deals, right? We won't have to come out of our pockets the whole $2,000. So if you can, pick one up because it's an amazing piece of tech. It really is. If you just want to play with it, maybe you can go to Best Buy. Last time I was at Best Buy, though, they had it kind of in a glass case, so you couldn't really play with it, which was a little disappointing. But overall, the Z Fold 2, amazing. And last thing I want to bring up that's just a little bothersome is this is the Mystic Black, and you can see, look at the fingerprints on here. This thing is a fingerprint magnet as well as being crazy slippery. I mean, one of the slipperiest handling phones I've ever had. This is the Mystic Black. The Mystic Bronze has the matte finish. It's probably a little better grip on that one. But this one, oh man, you better be careful. If you take it anywhere, hold on to it, be careful with it, because if it's in your pocket, if you're wearing basketball shorts or something, it's coming out of your pocket, no doubt about it. But other than that, look, I bought the phone knowing about the front display, so I'm not disappointed with that. I think it's good. I think it works just like I expected it to work. Inner display, the folding technology, the hinge, very premium, feels premium. I love it. And the cameras on here take fantastic pictures. Video on here is really good. I really don't have anything bad to say about it except for it being a fingerprint magnet, not being able to get a case. And that's pretty much it. I'm just giving you guys my opinion on what I would like on the Z Fold 3. But for the Z Fold 2 being what it is, amazing piece of tech. One of my favorite pieces of tech that I've ever tried or owned. It might be my top favorite piece of tech that I've ever tried because it's amazing. It's just fun to use. The innovation, not only the innovation and the thoughts behind it, but the implementation of it and getting it to where it works so smooth. It's very impressive. Very impressive, Samsung. Well done with the Z Fold 2. That's it, guys. Slangcast. If you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll be back soon with more. Check out my unboxing videos over on Digital Slang. You can find lots of content on there. The Note 20 Ultra, the Z Fold 2, and many other things. Earbuds, headphones. Check it out. Stay safe, guys. I'll be back soon. Peace.